I understand yesterday you learned about the Halacha of Yom Kippur. So I'm just going to go briefly to make sure that nothing was missed and you know everything. I'll do is I'll ask questions, whoever could answer, just answer the question. So starting from, we're going to do the Seder. Let's talk about, one second. Erev Yom Kippur, we did already, sorry. We're talking about Yom Kippur itself. Okay, so let me get out this sheet. Over here. You have extra on there?
Yeah.
You want to see extra? Supposed to be 25 over here, but anyone does not have one? Who doesn't have one? That's good. Anyone else doesn't have one? Everyone else has? Who else? Who doesn't have one has? Okay. So let's look at the sheet. It says over here on Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to eat on Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to drink on Yom Kippur. Now, there's something about connected to eating that you're not allowed to do. Let me ask you a question. Are you allowed to, on Yom Kippur, did you learn about this? Are you allowed to prepare food on Yom Kippur for a child? Anyone knows this? You can prepare food on Yom Kippur for a child.
Yes.
Yes, it's a yes. It's a yes. That's it.
Yeah.
No exceptions. You're allowed to. If what? You're always allowed to prepare food on Yom Kippur for a child, but there's an exception to the rule where you're not allowed. Yeah.
Unless it breaks down.
So it breaks you.
Well, Yom Kippur has kind of the same rules as Shabbos.
Right. No. You're not cooking. You're just preparing it. You're not doing any malach. You're preparing the food. You're taking the whatever you would do on Shabbos. Things that you're allowed to do on Shabbos, preparing the salad, slicing the bread, putting butter on the bread, cutting up the vegetables, the same way you would do on Shabbos. It's not allowed in Yom Kippur to do it for a child. The answer is yes. So it's correct, but there's an exception. If the child is able to do it themselves, the child is old enough to prepare the food themselves, then they should be preparing it on their own. Why? Because we don't want you to be handling food too much and preparing food on Yom Kippur. Why? Because what can happen if you are too involved with food on Yom Kippur? You might come to eat it. You might come to take a little snack, right? So we want to avoid handling food, preparing food on Yom Kippur. It's only if the child requires your assistance, only then are you allowed to prepare the food for the child. Are you allowed to rinse your mouth on Yom Kippur?
No.
Why not?
Because maybe you can drink.
Huh? Because you might come to swallow water. You might come to swallow, that's the reason. Okay, now we have, see on the sheet now, Shia. The third one is Rechitza, washing. You're not allowed to wash yourself in Yom Kippur. So are you allowed to wash your face on Yom Kippur?
No.
You're not allowed to wash your face in Yom Kippur.
But that's the color of the eyes, no?
Once if your eyes have, sometimes there's pus, there's little pieces, dirt in your eyes, and when you wake up in the morning, you clean out your eyes. Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah.
You're allowed to use one because it's dirt. You're allowed to take it out. But if you feel very uncomfortable, you don't wash your face, you feel miserable, let's say. Are you allowed to?
Right.
Was that discussed?
No.
What does that mean? No, it wasn't discussed. Or you're
We
not
didn't
allowed?
discuss.
No, we didn't have our answer.
Okay, so the question is, are you allowed to wash your face if you just feel, you don't feel good if you don't wash your face? You feel very uncomfortable, you don't want to wash your face. No?
If you're
You are
uncomfortable.
You are allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, any other opinions? Okay, so the answer is you are allowed to wash your face, but it's not a good idea. What I mean it's not a good idea means it's better not to. It's good to be strict, not to. Halachically, the person is miserable because they didn't wash their face and they feel they're just not functioning. They are allowed to wash their face. But accepted practices, we are machmir, we don't wash our face. So you'll have to gauge it if you're in that situation, let's say, and you feel miserable because you can't wash your face. You have to know that if you're extremely miserable, just wash your face. It's better to be strict, but you're miserable, you're not functioning, you're down properly, whatever, you could, but really you shouldn't, meaning, I mean, really you shouldn't. I want to make it clear you shouldn't walk away from the class because what happens a lot of times, I know from experience in teaching, I say something and it's misunderstood. You walk out of the classroom, you're allowed to wash your face in Yom Kippur. No, I didn't say allowed to wash your face. You should not wash your face. I'm saying there could be a situation, I don't know if it applies to any of you, there could be a situation, a person is extremely miserable, very uncomfortable, and you feel they're not functioning, and we say, okay, you could wash your face because being you're so uncomfortable, so it's not for pleasure. The issue of washing your face is because you can't wash your body for pleasure. But if your face is dirty, let's say, your face is dirty, you're allowed to wash your face. It's dirty. Everyone says you can wash your face. If on Yom Kippur you walk the shul and you fell on your face into the mud and your face is all muddy, you're allowed to wash your face in Yom Kippur?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because we feel bad for you? No, because it's dirty. You can't wash for pleasure. You're washing because it's dirty. So if you feel miserable, it's somewhat in that category where it's like, it's not for pleasure, it's for feeling normal. So therefore, you could wash your face. So in such a situation, if you feel very miserable, there could be a leniency that we will allow you to wash your face. Till when do you wash your hands? You learn till when you wash your hands?
Yeah.
On Yom Kippur? Till your knuckles, right. And when you go to the bathroom on Yom Kippur, so when do you wash your hands? Till your knuckles. Okay, so you know about that. Good. After Yom Kippur, what do? You learn about after Yom Kippur? You don't know about after Yom Kippur. After Yom Kippur, do you wash negovasa again? After Yom Kippur, you're going to wash negovasa on your whole hand. Because during Yom Kippur, you only wash till your knuckles. After Yom Kippur, you wash your whole hand. Okay? Then you have on this page I gave out, you have what it says, the fourth line is sicha, smearing for pleasure. So be smearing for pleasure. Any type of sprays, deodorant, all that stuff goes into the category of smearing. Smearing doesn't mean necessarily smearing, but putting something on your body that's there for some type of pleasure is in the category. So any sprays, deodorants, you can't use on Yom Kippur. Yeah.
But it's fine if it's like non-sensitive.
It doesn't matter if it's non-sensitive. You're putting it on your body. Anything that's going onto your body, you're not allowed. Could there be exceptions to the rule? Perhaps if it's a specific situation. Generally speaking, the answer is no. You can't use any sprays on Yom Kippur. It goes to the category of sicha, of smearing. There's a certain pleasure there.
Before you pick for time.
Well, Yom Kippur, it's fine, yes. Oh, by the way, did you get the answer about jewelry on Yom Kippur? Jewelry? Okay, because I wasn't sure if I'm coming this week, so I sent a message from Majestic. So I'll tell you now. The question was about jewelry on Yom Kippur. The question was asked last week. Is it, what about gold? Is it gold? Remember, someone asked the question. Right. The answer is that has nothing to do with gold. Any jewelry, women avoid using jewelry as much as possible. It means you minimize jewelry in general, not specifically gold. In general, all types of jewelry should be minimized on Yom Kippur, because of the fear of the Day of Judgment, we try to minimize as much as possible jewelry. Now, what does it mean as much as possible? As much as possible is a word that you can interpret wrong. As much as possible you can interpret to mean that just any piece of jewelry you find on yourself, just take off. You find anything like just, that doesn't mean as much as possible. It means you try to minimize, which means that if this jewelry that you wear, let's say every day, it's standard, and you feel like, you just don't feel good, you take everything off. That's not what we mean. We mean people put on Shabbos, Yom Tov, extra jewelry, this and that. You try to minimize within normal, within feeling normal and not feeling like, frustrated that you have to take everything off. We're not saying that. So
Let's say you wear
it's very individual. It's not something that you can tell a person, okay, you have to take, it's very individual. You have to try according to what you usually wear, according to how you feel about yourself, that you could still feel normal, not to feel like you're being choked that you can't wear anything, because things that you wear every day is a normal thing, you wear. But now, is it better to not wear anything? Yeah. But the idea is to minimize according to what you feel comfortable. I hope that's clear. It's not black and white. When we talk about any level of when we say minimize jewelry, minimize perfume, let's say, there are other situations where it comes up, doesn't come up related to what we're discussing now. There's other situations where that concept comes up. It's not black and white. How do you explain such a thing? You have to know yourself. You have to figure out yourself. What does it mean to minimize? I hope that's clear. Go to the next thing. Yeah.
How about makeup? Like we can put like before?
It doesn't say. It's just about jewelry. Makeup is probably, look up every single detail. It's probably also should be minimized. I would assume it should be minimized. Jewelry, it's all the same idea. It should be minimized. It shouldn't be overdone. It shouldn't be like a regular Yom Tov. Again, it's not black and white. You cannot go after explaining exactly. You have to figure out yourself. You have to have the idea that Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov. We dress Yom Tov, but it's a Yom Adin, a day of judgment, and therefore we minimize when it comes to jewelry or other things similar to that. We minimize, and you have to figure out according to yourself what makes sense for you. Next thing is Neilus a sandal, that's leather shoes. You don't wear leather shoes on Yom Kippur, right? You have to remember to take off your leather shoes before you light candles at Yom Kippur, because when you light candles before Yom Kippur, Kippur comes in. That's Yom Kippur. You light candles, like when you light candles for Shabbos comes in. So you have to take off your shoes, your leather shoes, before you light candles. Now, did you learn about shoes that are not leather, but they're comfortable, that you don't wear?
Mm-hmm.
No? That wasn't discussed. Okay, so sometimes there's shoes that are not leather, but they're very comfortable. And those shoes, even though they're not leather, because they're very comfortable, you give a good support, as opposed to sneakers that are for running. But there are shoes that have a very good level of comfort, like a regular shoe, but it's not leather. These days they figured out other materials. That is not prohibited by the Torah, because the Torah only refers to leather. But with Rabbanan, also you should not wear those shoes because they give a good support, they give a good comfort, very similar to leather. So those shoes should not be worn on Yom Kippur.
So which shoes? Yeah, what shoes do you wear?
Which shoes do you wear? Shoes that don't have leather, or and then they don't have the support of a regular shoe. Sneakers. Yeah.
Why don't you want to become comfortable for fasting?
Why don't you want to be
And we're allowed to
comfortable?
wash our face if we feel awful. Then
You're
why
not-
can't we wear certain shoes if otherwise we make us feel awful?
Oh, yes, a good question. So I need to give a little more background in general to understand where it's coming from. Because you're asking this question. So there's a pasuk in the Torah. There's a pasuk in the Torah being Nisem es nafshi seichel. Everyone look at the board, please. In the Torah, pay attention to the board. V'nisem. This. V'nisem. Everyone look at the board. V'nisem. And you should afflict. V'nisem means you should afflict. Literally means afflict, but it doesn't mean that the Chacham interpret what it means. V'nisem es nafshi seichel. You should inflict your souls. Ever read this? V'nisem es nafshi seichel. Ever see this? You should afflict your souls on Yom Kippur. Some interpret it based on other verses that interpret this, the meaning of this word. What is it? Okay, so what about if only part of the shoe is leather? If there's any leather in it, it should not be worn on Yom Kippur. We avoid any leather, even though it's not on the same level, it's the top and the bottom. You really should not wear any shoe, any shoe that has any type of leather, any amount of leather should not be worn on Yom Kippur. If you know this leather, you don't wear it. So the Nisa means you should afflict your souls, which means what's explained over here: eating, drinking, washing, sparing, and shoes. So it's only prohibited something that you're afflicting yourself, anything that's we're saying that you're not allowed to afflict your soul on Yom Kippur. So therefore, you cannot wash yourself on Yom Kippur. However, if you're doing it not because you're dirty, let's say, going back to that example, easy to understand. If you're doing it, you're washing your face because it's dirty. You fell into the mud. Face is dirty. Not you wash your face? Yes, because it's not. That's not an issue of that because you have to flip yourself. You can't wash your face. It's dirty. It's dirt. That's why you're allowed to wash your face when it's dirty. Now, if you're not comfortable, if you remind me, you had a specific question from something else. Remind me what it was.
It's like if we're allowed to wash our face because we feel off when we're not comfortable. It's dirty. Why isn't it the same with our souls?
Very hard to answer your question. Just put down their guidelines how it works. First of all, people are not miserable without shoes. We're discussing when we have a person feels miserable that he can't wash his face. He feels miserable. So then it becomes equivalent to a face that's dirty. You feel miserable. A person does not wear leather shoes is not miserable. You're not allowed to eat and drink, even though it doesn't feel good to fast. You're not allowed. Eating and drinking is in a different category. Eating and drinking is much stricter. That's clearly in the pasuk eating and drinking. Everything has its category. It's different. I don't know what else what other words to explain it. But, yeah, does it make sense?
No, because you're saying it's not that you'd be miserable without leather shoes, but you're saying even shoes that are not leather, which would be comfortable and would give you support, you can't wear. No?
Any shoe that gives you some support, you can't wear. Right.
Right.
You have to afflict yourself. If you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't wash yourself, you can't wear shoes. You can't. I'm saying it's very different than your face, being miserable for not washing your face. I'm never saying because you're so miserable, then it becomes it's like your face is dirty. That's what you're saying. With leather shoes, it's different. Maybe there could be hypothetically a situation with a person. It is brought down if someone is sick. There are situations there are leniencies, but they have to be very specific what it is. Generally speaking, a person is not wearing leather shoes. He's not as it's not nearly as miserable as a person who can't wash his face. He's not wearing nothing shoes, so he's sinning. Who says he has to walk? He's not walking. And if he's walking, by the way, there is a leniency. The person has to walk, take a long journey on Yom Kippur for whatever reason. Then I think he needs to wear shoes. Those days, especially walking in the mud and everything without shoes, you can't. So then there's no choice. It says you should put on the shoes reverse, right and left, left and right. So there are situations without needs, but it's not so relevant. Okay. See if anything about Yom Kippur that needs to be clarified. What else? Okay. Any questions?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to carry on Yom Kippur?
Yeah, Yom Kippur is like Shabbos.
Okay, it's only supposed weekend.
Carry Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Shmini Atzeres, Stera,
Basically every
and that, right.
So which day is the day when elder kid and people bring their kids to the shul?
To hear the Aseret Adibris, the Ten Commandments,
No, but is there any day in which day that we are allowed to carry or not?
they're allowed to carry.
Every day but Yom Kippur.
So every day we don't. Every day we can. No,
You
every
can't,
day
you can't carry Shabbos and Yom Kippur.
Rosh
Ah,
Hashanah.
okay.
Yeah, every other Yom Tov you can wear.
Oh, okay.
Last year we had to bring our matzah before because it was also on Shabbos.
Right.
So that's why you're
Ah,
probably
yeah.
thinking. We'd like put it in a little bag, hide it in the corner. Rosh Hashanah was also on it.
So this year is not.
This year you can carry. Just not in Yom Kippur, but every other Yom.
Okay, so did you learn about,
Okay.
Havdalah, Matzah, Yom Kippur? Is that covered? Havdalah, Matzah, Yom Kippur.
Honestly, not much.
Okay. Was not discussed. Okay, so after Yom Kippur is over, like Yom Kippur, we do Havdalah. Like every Matzah Shabbos, Matzah Yom Tov, Havdalah, right? Havdalah. Matzah Shabbos, we have the Psalmim, we have the fire. Matzah Yom Tov is just on a cup of wine. Yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone following what I'm saying, right? Matzah Shabbos, we usually have Psalmim and fire. Matzah Yom Tov is just on a cup of wine. Yeah. So now, let's say Yom Kippur is different than Yom Tov and different than Shabbos. So Yom Kippur, we do say brach on fire. So it's different than Yom Tov, we say brach on fire. But the fire we use on Matzah Yom Kippur is different than the fire that we use on Matzah Shabbos. The fire we use on Matzah Yom Kippur has to be a fire that was burning the entire Yom Kippur. It can't be that you can't strike a match and make a bracha on the fire to burn Matzah Shabbos. It has to be a fire that was burning the entire Yom Kippur, and we see a bracha on the fire itself that was burning the entire Yom Kippur. And best is to light a candle, light a candle from that existing fire that was burning the entire Yom Kippur. And you say a bracha on both together. This is unique for Matzah Yom Kippur. Matzah Yom Kippur, you cannot just strike a match and light up the candle and say a bracha. That's only on Matzah Shabbos you do that. Matzah Yom Kippur, it must be a fire that was burning the entire Yom Kippur. And you say a bracha on that fire, or you can light up the candle from that fire. That's also good. Best is to say a bracha on both together, on the fire that was burning the whole Yom Kippur, and on the Havdalah candle that you lit from that fire. That's better to do both together. But either or is 100% fine. Either the fire that was burning the entire Yom Kippur, or the Havdalah candle that you lit from the fire that was burning the whole Yom Kippur. Yes.
So every house needs to have a candle burning the entire Yom Kippur.
So practically speaking, where do you get fire after Yom Kippur? You have to have a fire that was burning the whole Yom Kippur. So it has to be, everyone has, so we learned about, we spoke about the Ner Chaim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
The
the
Ner Chaim, they have an existing fire candle.
If you have a
24-hour
neshama, then you
candle.
also need a ner.
Huh?
If you have a ner neshama, then you also need,
Whichever one.
you just need one.
Any candle that was burning entire Yom Kippur, and then you light from it. Now, it's better to light from it actually. The issue is, it's not going into reasons to make it confusing, simple, just give you the law itself. What you should do is, if, I said you could do either or, but better is actually to say a bracha on the candle, on the Halacha candle that's being lit from the candle that's burning on Yom Kippur. That's even better. I will give you the reason, to extent, because the fire that was burning the whole Yom Kippur is not really lit necessarily to give light. And it should be a fire that's lit for light. And the fire that's burning on Yom Kippur was lit for whatever reason, Shama, Chayim, whatever the reason is, it wasn't lit to give light. And it's supposed to be a candle that's lit to give light. So that's why it should really be l'chatchila on the, not just the fire that's burning, even though the evidence seems that it could also be good, because it was burning on Yom Kippur, but you should light Abdullah candle from that fire and say a bracha on the Abdullah candle that's burning.
If you have a ner neshama, you also have a ner chaim, or the ner neshama serves both roles.
You mean for the Abdullah candle?
No, just like,
In general, no, it's two separate things. And the Shama and Chaim is two separate
so you
things.
need to have two candles.
Right. Then we'll get that to understand what you're saying. Okay. Question was asked like this. We learned about a Ner Neshama and a Ner Chaim. We learned that before Yom Kippur, that some people they light a Ner Neshama, a candle from Neshama for a parent that passed away. You're lighting a candle for that Neshama. And then there's what's called a Ner Chaim that everyone lights in their house. Candle, in Yiddish is called a lebedik, represents the Torah, which should have brought down on Yom Kippur, the Luchos. So the question is asked, once if someone is lighting a Ner Neshama, they also have to light a Ner Chaim. If they already have the Ner Neshama, maybe it's inclusive to Ner Chaim. That was the question. The answer is it's two separate things. Someone is lighting a Ner Neshama, it's a Ner Neshama. Ner Chaim is something separate. I'm going to give this out now to do a review for the first day of Rosh Hashanah, for the first 2 days, I mean. Then you'll fill it in. Last one is, you don't have to pay attention to that. That's not going to fit into the order. Basically, what I'm asking you is to write the order. You're going to be choosing from the bottom of the page, and you're going to be writing the order. Write it out page, numbers, and using numbers. Simple, but I know sometimes that's simple. Let me explain you what to do.
You have another one?
Another one?
One of the girls is gonna.
Who else needs? Okay. What you're doing now is what you're doing is like this, okay? Attention. You're going to the bottom of the page on the left side. It says choose from these. See, just choose from these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, don't worry about 8 because even though we say a lot of Tzilam on Rosh Hashanah, but there's no exact order. But I want you to write an order over here, and you're going to have to write an order till we say all the time. So don't worry about 8. Now, you're going to write on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, now you're going to choose from the bottom, and you're going to write it in order. let's say, let's say the first night of Shoshana, let's say we blow shofar, and then we go to Tasha. I'll give you an example, okay? Let's say the first night of Shoshana, we shofar and Tasha. What do we do first? You write down, if the first thing is shofar, you write 7, you write 5. So go to the left side and just write in order. Write whatever the Seder is, and then we'll review it together. Is this clear?
Yes.
First night, first day.
Yeah, why? Really?
This is different.
Oh. Laila. And the first day and the first night. Okay.
Okay. Other one? Yeah. Okay, are we done? Okay. You all done? Huh? No? You can put an 8 also, because 8 could do all the time, but
Alright.
it's not like,
What if you haven't eaten a pomegranate all season of the year? That's definitely not.
it's irrelevant. I'm not mentioning Shechianu, I'm mentioning pomegranate.
What is
Don't say
pomegranate?
Shechianu.
3 months.
Limon.
A new fruit, but it's-
That's a general question.
Yeah, I'm saying, I don't eat pomegranate. So what if,
So it's Shechianu. Okay, are we done? Another minute?
Wait, for the night.
Done?
so do you need to eat the head, like a piece from the head of the fish, or it's just like, you can have it on the table, make sure you really have this?
Small piece. You don't have to see it. You have some give you a piece from it.
Is there any meat in the head? Like, how do you,
There is, not so much, but you can find something. Yeah.
you gotta dig for it?
Get your surgical kit out.
Is everyone done? Are we done? Okay. Okay, who wants to volunteer to tell us the first night of Rosh Hashanah, what is done? Just gonna give numbers in order, okay? Who's ready? Who wants to do it?
Me.
You want to do it? Okay, let's hear.
Read and verse 9. What was that?
Just say numbers, say numbers.
1, 3, 6.
1, 3, 6. Almost, yeah, pretty good. But now let's get something better, a little better.
8.
8, let's do something else.
2, 2 and
Let's
3.
hear, let's hear.
4.
Yeah,
And
1/4.
The first night.
1/4.
Huh?
No.
No, we're making it 2.
No. Okay, who wants to? Okay, let's
The
hear.
2.
Okay, let's hear.
The 2.
Just say the whole thing. Go, say numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Say, just read it. Say
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8.
1, 2, 3, 4.
6 and 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8.
Right.
1, 2,
That's what I said.
What here? Still here? We have a winner here.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 6.
Yay.
1, 2, 3, 6.
So we said Shechianu, we need to, the closest to the candle lighting.
That's what I said,
The
no?
first, no, you said good, they just need to add one thing. You missed one number.
What?
I think you missed the 2. It's 1, 2, 3, 6.
But what about Shechianu? On the
Where's
first-
Shechianu?
Uh,
New fruit?
Yeah.
New fruit is the second night.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay, now, first day of the Shoshana. Let's see, anyone else wants to, yeah, let's hear.
5, 8, 7, 1.
5. Let's say it in order. Give me the order.
1, 5, 7, 8.
It's better than that. The numbers are good. The numbers are good. I need to order. I need to order a little better. Okay, who can give me the order for what first day of the Shoshana? Yes, 715 is correct. 715. Okay, this, yeah, everyone heard that? 715. Now the second night of the Shoshana.
5, 7, 7, 1, 5. 7, 1, 5.
Second night of Rosh Hashanah.
What's
7, 5, 1.
What's this? What are you asking?
What's the first day?
First day of Hashanah is 715.
Why would you make numbers?
You can write it down. Write down it's just easier. Want to write
You're going to
shofar?
the second
Because it's all written down. Whatever you can write down the word itself.
1, 4, 8.
Very good.
Yay.
Second night of Hashanah is 1, 4, and 8.
Wow.
Did everyone get the first day of Rosh Hashanah?
No, yeah.
Okay, now we have shofar.